What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today's video definitely sucks to make, but it's a video that I want to go ahead and share with you guys and review the trades that I took on Tesla today. I am probably one of the very few people in the world that lost money on Tesla puts today, and I want to go ahead and share with you guys how that happened to me today. I was looking for a rejection of pre-market highs, the exact same trade setup that I was looking for yesterday that ended up making me a very nice profit. Looked for that same setup today, and today it just did not work as clean as it did yesterday, and the unfortunate truth is that I had to stop out of my position and I had to cut the loss where it was. I am happy with my risk management where I stopped out of this trade. Once it started to go against me, the unrealized loss would have grown to about $3,000 to $4,000, and that is just not a comfortable level for me to be holding a loss. So I am happy with how I executed it. I'll share with you guys what I could have done better, how this trade should have been taken. Looking back at it, reviewing my trades on a daily basis, I found where I should have been patient and where I should have entered versus what I did today. So overall, a good reflection video on a losing trade I took today on Tesla. I hope you guys do enjoy this one. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and start this video off on TradeZilla. This is where I journal my trades on a daily basis, review the month that I've had, review my red day today, and then we'll get into the charts and really talk through where this went wrong, what I could have done better, and overall just learn from this experience. So here's my month so far on for June, guys, and it's been a great month. I'm up about $11,000 on the month. I've had 3 red days so far this month, and I am happy with the overall consistency that I've seen. You guys can see here on the bottom left that I am down $667 today on 3 trades. Both 2 of them Tesla, 1 of them Nvidia. We're really going to focus on the Tesla trade so far. So if I click into this day and we go into the trades that I've taken, you guys can see that early morning I took 2 Tesla puts. One of them lost $200, one of them lost $385 for overall an amount of around $600 today on Tesla. If I go ahead and jump into the biggest loss here, you're going to see that I got into this trade right here at this pre-market high. And we're going to jump into the TOS charts to make this a little bit more clear, but I want to go ahead and just share with you guys the trade details that are straight from my broker here on TradeZilla. So you guys can see my first entry, if I scroll down, was $935 with 2 put contracts for about $4,000 total, getting in at $19.24, 2 puts, and I got out at $17.35 just about a minute later. So I was in that trade from $935 to $936. That was my biggest loser today on Tesla. And then the other trade that I took on Tesla as well was a little bit earlier. I was in this from $934 to $935. Again, another 1-minute trade, losing about $200. And again, seeing that I got in at basically the exact same point at that pre-market high around $742 a share. So $734 to $735, both trades was where I was in this trade, was in it for about a minute and lost about $600. I was in it with decent size. I liked the setup. It was something I was watching the previous day, and it just did not work for me today. So now that you can see the loss and you can see where I got in, let's go ahead and jump into the actual charts and get an idea of how this trade set up. So guys, jumping over to the 5-minute chart here on Tesla, I'm going to sort of walk you through what I was looking for early morning and how I was setting up my game plan for the day. So coming into today, there was 2 levels I was watching. The first level was the pre-market high on Tesla, which was $742 a share. And this is where I ended up taking the trade off of, which in this case was incorrect. You can see the next level that I was watching was the 750 high from yesterday's open. You can see the top that we had there yesterday. This is the pre-market rejection that I traded yesterday. You can see we came right back to that level. So yesterday, if we go to the 1-minute chart, I'm going to show you how I traded this yesterday. We can see that we had a pre-market high of around $756, which was right up here, and I was looking for the rejection of that yesterday. I have a live trade of this on my Instagram if you guys want to check that out. I went ahead, purchased puts here at the pre-market high, looking for that rejection, which aligned very nicely with the NASDAQ, and you can see that it worked very nicely for me yesterday. So I was coming into the day looking for that exact same thing. I was coming into the day looking for a rejection of pre-market highs. Now, if we go into the 1-minute chart here, you're going to see what happened at pre-market highs. I'll go into the 1-minute chart of today's price action, and here is what sort of chopped me up on the trade today. So we pushed into that pre-market high early morning. You can see it is right here at $742 a share. If I zoom in, if we look at this candle right here, the 7 This is the 9:33 candle, 9:33 a.m. This candle right here, you can see that we had a pretty monster wick at that pre-market high. Now, when I saw that wick, I got very interested in Tesla puts at this level. If I go back to yesterday's price action, you can see we had a very similar thing. We had a monster wick at the pre-market high. And so when I saw that today, I got very interested. We had a very big wick at the pre-market high, which was $742 a share, and I started to get interested here around 934 and 935. I was looking to see if this could slide back to the downside off of a pre-market high rejection. What you guys can see is that Tesla had different ideas today. You can see that we started to chop around, started to push through that pre-market high, and as soon as I saw the stock not working for me pretty quickly, starting to break above that pre-market high, I decided to go ahead and cut my loss and get out of this trade. So around the same time that I was getting into my Tesla puts, I was watching the NASDAQ here at 12,150, which is an overnight rejection point, looking to see if we could play the downside off that NASDAQ rejection. Now, this NASDAQ rejection did come in. You can clearly see it came in, but it took a little bit more time than I would have liked. It sort of threw me off with how sort of long it consolidated here. It broke through. It sort of chopped around. It messed around with my emotions here. It messed around with my position. Eventually, it broke down, and it was a very nice breakdown, but I got chopped up as it started to consolidate near that rejection point. So you can see if we jump back to Tesla around the exact same time, this is where Tesla was consolidating as well. Got into those puts at the pre-market high rejection, got stopped out as it started to mess around at this level. A whole lot of chop here for about 10 minutes, pushed higher, and I'm happy I exited where I did because if I held through this push, the loss would have been even worse. Everything ended up working as it should have, right? And the problem here is that I probably got a little bit too antsy on the, with the trigger, getting into those puts. I didn't wait for the clearest confirmation. I didn't wait for that very clear breakdown off the pre-market high rejection. I think the problem that I had today was that I had this trade yesterday work out very nicely, a pre-market high rejection and a very nice trade to the downside. And when I saw that exact same setup starting to show itself again, I attacked it looking for that same setup to work. Could have waited a little bit longer, could have waited for that confirmation to come in. I can't get too upset about where I stopped out and how I managed my risk. But the unfortunate thing about this trade is that my timing was just a little bit off. The idea was correct, right? And that's going to happen in trading. You're going to have the right idea, but sometimes your timing's just going to be a little bit off. Whether you're too early to it, you're too late to the trade, it's going to happen all the time. And today is definitely one of those days. So now that you guys see what went wrong on this trade, where I entered and where I got stopped out, what I sort of did wrong mentally and sort of technically here on the charts, I want to go over exactly where I should have got in according to my break and retest strategy, which I normally do use. This pre-market high rejection play that I've looked for in the last few days has worked, and it hasn't worked. I'm not 100% confident on taking this type of setup in the future. Rejection of pre-market high is aggressive. It's something that you have to be very careful on, and maybe something that I want to take out of my trading and really stay to my break and retest, because if I waited for a break and retest today, this could have been a very nice day, and I want to share with you guys where that break and retest occurred. The first retest that I was watching was on the NASDAQ. So if we go to the NASDAQ on the 1 minute chart today, guys, the first break and retest that showed itself was right here, right around this 12,120 level. You can see that we had a previous low that turned into a resistance point. That is right here. We had a previous low that turned into resistance. This is right around 10 a.m. to 10:01 Eastern time. Right there is a beautiful break and retest to the downside. Previous support turning into resistance on the NASDAQ. Now, if we go to Tesla, we're going to see at around 10:01, which is the exact same time, which is right here, guys. 10:01 is right here on Tesla. You are going to be looking at the exact same type of setup. Break and retest to the downside. Previous support turning into resistance at 746. If I would have just been a little bit more patient, if I would have just waited for my break and retest to set up on the NASDAQ, this was the entry that I should have taken, right? This is the entry that someone that was a little bit more patient, that didn't try to catch the early morning rejection, could have taken today on Tesla. The break and retest right here, breakdown of 746, retest it, turn it into resistance, and there is your beautiful downside play, which aligned very nicely with the NASDAQ break and retest right here, guys. NASDAQ break and retest at 10 a.m., previous support into resistance. Going back to Tesla, you can see at the exact same time, we had that break and retest of 746 at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time right there. Perfect entry there. Definitely something that I've learned today. Definitely something that I will take away for my future trades. Something that I definitely am happy that I've spotted, happy that I've gone over, happy that I've learned from, and something that I wanted to share with you guys today. So I hope you did enjoy this video. Sucks to have a red day. I'm happy that I can spot what I did wrong and share with you guys. Getting in a little bit too early, being a little bit too aggressive to that pre-market high rejection. It worked for me yesterday, and I think that was my overall downfall today. I looked for that same type of setup, that pre-market high rejection that worked for me the day prior, and it just did not work for me today. If I would have stuck to my roots, waited and been a little bit more patient for that first break and retest, that confirmation to the downside, that trade on Tesla would have been beautiful. So hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you enjoy me sort of sharing what I do wrong and how I can improve. I hope you guys do learn something from today's video as well. Press the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for all the support, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.